people no one make person talk. Them say that Mayegun, that man do they talk. He do they talk. Say Mayegun diary, he dey hot like pepper. But every day then they take money in bulk. Poor man pikin dey the street they hawk. Still them talk say make we no talk. But thank God say Mayegun don't come. So my people make you laugh. Oh yo yo, Mayegun don't come. Oh yo yo, my people make you shout. Oh yo yo, Mayegun don't come. Oh yo yo, Mayegun don't come, man of the man.
Hello there.
Mayegun diary, Mayegun làwa mọ̀, làmọ̀ tó dòdòdò. Mayegun diary, Mayegun ti dé o, ọ̀rẹ́ ará yìí. Mayegun diary, lórí Facebook, lórí YouTube. Mayegun diary, gbogbo bó ṣe ń lọ ni Mayegun já wa sí. Mayegun diary, àṣírí ọ̀jẹ̀lú kì í bò níbẹ̀ o. Mayegun diary,
Good morning to you, good afternoon to you, and good evening to you from wherever you are watching from. It is Mayegun live.
Mayegun diary political.
It don't happen. It don't shele. They have now confirmed that the returned loot have now been relooted. That is not a breaking news to anybody who is a brethren on the temple of in the temple of truth. We knew that a year ago, or maybe more. Share these broadcasts. Invite your friends, invite your not so friendly friends, and tell them.
Lórí Facebook, and yes, we like lórí YouTube.
To a lot of you who will remember the story of Magu Luther Crook. Remember? That was pretty much like about 4 years ago. Brethren, we knew that the returned loot to Nigeria was being relooted, right? 4 years ago. Now they have declared some people wanted. That the returned loot from 2016 to 2019, they couldn't trace them in the Central Bank of Nigeria. Meanwhile, International Monetary Fund, popularly known as IMF, who praised Tifnubu for removing subsidy, they are pressing him again for secretly paying subsidy. Okay, Motide. Now, good morning to you once again. Good afternoon to you. And good evening to you as well from wherever you are watching from. It is Mayegun live. And thank you so much for, to those of you who have shared the broadcast. Okay. To those of you who have also paid your offering, like you have liked the broadcast. Thank you. But just before we go deeper into the broadcast tonight, could you please spare me a minute of your time by joining me to wish Yomi Totu a happy birthday? He was born on the day of love. I didn't know that. No wonder he's been an amazing individual, one of you that I've met, and I'm so grateful for meeting as well. So thank you so much. Happy birthday, Totu. Long life and prosperity, all right? And then remain yourself. as you've always been. So thank you, guys. Now, if you have read the caption of the broadcast, and you have also read the caption of the you have read the description of the broadcast. Listen, we are going to start with the part where the noise out there right now, which is their, sort of properly scripted propaganda to clear the robber in thief, I've been a robber in chief, armed robber in chief, and that would be Buhari. And the damages and the ruins, the looting, the destruction of Nigeria under these rogues, they need a fall guy. And it seems Emefiole is going to be their fall guy. Why they entertain you with all kinds of nonsense, you will never get to the bottom of it. Shishi will never be recovered. And the whole damages done will never be punished. The same rogues will then use this stolen fund again to further help Nigeria into the graves. Somehow, it can be a win-win for so many of us who really believes that except this guy self-destructs, it will take even it will take much effort to get rid of them. But let's start with their news that all Emefiole did. Yeah, the trajectory right now is to make it look like he acted alone. In fact, the governor of Central Bank of Nigeria was a Yahoo boy all that time. Even when he came out with all these same rogues like Buhari and gang to celebrate some of the policies that have further destroyed Nigeria till today, right? They said he either deceived them or forged their certificates. But do you know the irony of it? The particular one they have now sort of picked on is that, listen, $6.2 million was withdrawn from the Central Bank of Nigeria. And the purpose was to give it to election observers who are coming to observe Nigeria elections. Now, it is now a controversy because when the process of withdrawing that money was followed according to by their law, right? The secretary to the government of the federation raised a memo concerning this election. We need to pay election observers in dollars, $6.5 million. Then this same memo was passed on to the president. That was Buhari. Buhari minuted on it and signed it. Just a month and about 2 weeks, just about 6 weeks to the elections, they gave it to Emefiole. Emefiole opened the vault, released the money, and gave the $6.5 million cash to Boss Mustafa's secretary. Now, this Boss Mustafa's secretary is not featuring in all of this. So Kalu, that is doing some home cleaning, trying to figure out which of the biggest looting they will go for first. I told you here when the announcement came that Nigeria Foreign Reserve was used as a mortgage, as a collateral for a loan of $30 billion. That yet we still don't know what they did with that money. However, since the signature and the memo originated from the office of the secretary to the state, to the federal government, Boss Mustafa, so he was invited. They did not arrest him. They did not arrest his secretary. They did not arrest Buhari, the two principal signatory that gave approval. So when Boss Mustafa got to the court, he was there as a witness, as a victim. And he boldly told them the two signatures were forged. I did not sign it. What about the money? I don't know anything about any money. But your signature was there. Buhari's signature was there. No, it was all forged. Look at that signature. It's a little bit faint. Buhari's signature, Buhari signs with thick pen, very thick pen. So his signature is very thick. That's why he said it. That's why he told the court. And that's what Nigeria media grabbed. And that is what they have been running with. In fact, BBC is also running the same thing. Why? A day after Boss Mustafa said, the signature must have been forged. It's not from us. So they quickly took, Emefiele is already under probe, Abi. They quickly picked three other CBN staff, possibly those who also work in the operation that facilitated, maybe even the Megad that opened the vault. You get what I mean? So 3 of them, they now declared them wanted. BBC is already helping them to amplify that. Some people forged, just like that. It's not that, Boss Mustafa denies involvement in $6.2 million scam, election scam. Do you get that now? By saying his signature must have been forged. No. They ran with the headline that, they forged Buhari's signature and they also forged Boss Mustafa's signature and they are victims now. Okay? Now let's now come back to the part of the rider, the headline. From the same investigation of the Central Bank of Nigeria, remember, just please don't get emotional. Okay? All I'm just telling you right now is just to bring you up to date. And at the same time, it also fits so well into our theory of why Nigeria will never work. You just get to see this as a need to know basis because they are facts. Do you understand? Now, as they are releasing these remnants, it's not because they wanted to fight any corruption. No. Do not get emotional and begin to feel like, that means they are doing the right thing. This whole thing is scripted. And gradually, it's going to fizzle out. And all these billions, trillions, billions, trillions that you are hearing, and all these names that you're hearing, right? And all these crimes they have committed, they will fizzle out. Because the enough shege they are unleashing on you every minute is enough to melt your brain. Seriously. And that's how they get away with a lot. But the reason why you are listening to this on this platform from Mayegun tonight is because it is on a need to know basis. Now, having known all of this, and you still kind of feel convinced that something good is still going to come out of this without ending these rogues, then I will leave you to that. That will be your judgment. That's not going to be mine. Do you understand? So they said when they started digging into the central bank, this same Emefiele central bank, they discovered that, ladies and gentlemen, brethren in the temple, all of the Maja, EFCC, Maguluta Kruku, arresting, and all this money they were discovering in septic tank, in soakaway, inside graveyard, inside coffin, abandoned flats, all those millions, billions, blah, blah, blah. Those dramas of 2015, 2016, 2017, 2018, 2019. 4 straight years, guys. They were all for Abu. Just some jobs for the boys. No shishi from all those announcements. I mean, it's been a while now that you hear that they found money somewhere or somebody stole money and it's been a while, right? But we are talking about the time that they used that to coerce some gullible minds to make them believe that they were actually fighting corruption. While the profligacy, the looting, the stealing were being done right in the open. They were not even hiding it. Because to some gullible ones, it must be right if they were doing that. I mean, it must be some people. They were stealing money. They found money in judges' houses. They found money inside some, toddlers' bank accounts. All of that money, Baba, Shengbai, no the central bank. Shengbai. It's not only that the money is not there. Oh. Listen to me very carefully. Oh. They could not trace what they used the money for. I am going to rejig your memory so that you will remember that 4-5 years ago, we were already talking about the relooting of the loot, relooting of return loot. Go back into the memory, go back into the diary now. Okay, you will see there. Go on to Mayegun's diary political and search for Maguluta Kruku, returned loot, relooted loot. You will see abundant content on this years ago. They say, shut up your mouth. What did they use Abacha return loot for? It has been added to the national purse. The money has been used on education. Yeah, these were the Buhari diddens. The era of the Buhari Dinotus, the Buhari Dijatus, the Buhari Shukus, the Ungoziaris, the Unekaris, the Abrodian Buhari idiots too. The Mumumadus, the Bele lecturers, the Mumu lecturers. They were always on my platform telling me, you are just telling me of this. They are fighting corruption. They have a returning loot too. About these guys were making deals at first, so you know, okay? Every returned loot from abroad to Nigeria, that time, Abubakar Malamu, the Attorney General of Nigeria, then under Buhari, the guy was making a kill. He was getting his own percentage to say, yes, imagine this fraud. Oh. When a government is formed, and then you begin to appoint your political appointees, and you begin to apportion their portfolios to them, right? So what you are practically doing is that, you are opening shops for them on agriculture, on tourism, on power, on on health, on education. So they are administrators that carries out the government's policies in those businesses. Like, even though governments are not supposed to be in business, the government has no business in business. But in Nigeria, Shashe, you get, they were supposed to carry out those, right? Now, you see the Ministry of Justice, they gave them minister. And the minister of the Ministry of Justice is known as the Attorney General or Minister of Justice of the Federation. But I prefer to call it Attorney General. As a Yoruba man, Attorney General is a deceiver. So if you now have somebody who is supposed to be the number one law officer of the country, the chief law officer of the country, the Minister of Justice, who is a deceiver, a liar, you get what I mean? Fraud, a total criminal. I don't even know why he's not in chains right now, but I do know why he's not, by the way. So that's pretty much like not true. I do know why he's not in chain. Nigeria is a place where criminals are rewarded. And if you dare raise your voice about the activities of the criminals, you will either be jailed, killed, and if you are lucky, exiled. Do you get that now? So Attorney General of Nigeria then, Abubakar Malamu, He was making a kill for himself, 30%. You know what he was doing? You are the Minister of Justice. Therefore, in this office, you have senior lawyers being paid by Nigeria. Do you know that? Yeah, that's what Ministry of Justice is. And the Minister of Justice is expected to assemble the best brains, the best legal brains for government to fight for government. Anytime government get case, it will go into, it's like a DA. You know, when you have DA, all those DA in America, right? District attorneys, right? They work for the council. Do you get that now? Some of them are higher. Okay, I think it's different because DA office does work other jobs too, right? I think it's not really different, okay, but they get paid once they do any job for government. Abi, like if they do any legal job for government, they get paid. They can do their own job too, Abi. In the office of the Attorney General of Nigeria, there were supposed to be senior lawyers who are being paid millions of naira every month as their salaries for working in the office of the Minister of Justice. Whenever there is any case against the federal government of Nigeria, the Minister of Justice was supposed to assemble the best brain from his, because it's like he has his own chamber as a Minister of Justice. Do you understand? Formulating different, looking into any legal lacuna, into any government policies before they get out there. You get what I mean? Baba, under Buhari, Malamu was officially collecting almost 30% of return loot to Nigeria. Almost 30%. 18% for the lawyer. 12%, I think 11 or 12% for the consultant. Meanwhile, they are the same consultant, they are the same lawyers. So they need to pay them for their jobs. Okay? So Abubakar Malamu, who came in when most of the deals were already concluded on how to return some of the Abacha loot and few other loots like that. Then Goodluck Ebele Jonathan got replaced by Buhari. The only thing Buhari's government needed to do was what? To say, now we are ready, send us the money. Do you understand? They didn't have to do anything anymore. Abubakar Malamu put official gazette together and said, even though they were not the ones who attended some of the court cases, appearances in those countries that were returning money, they just got appointed and they came into office, right? They opened business. So instead of them to just do it normal and let the whole loot that they are returning be returned to Nigeria and used, for your good, Abi. No. What they did was, Abubakar Malamu said, Nigeria federal government, in order to receive the expected return loot, Nigeria federal government has assembled some legal team to look into all of these agreements. Now, just by reading all the agreements of how they want to return loot, these guys were paid 18% of those. So if they, and under Buhari, Abacha loot of over $3 billion were returned in those 8 years. Yes, over $3 billion. Imagine collecting 30% of $3 billion. Or by just putting some names together and say, some lawyers are the ones who are going to have to sign here on behalf of Nigeria. They have to sign that legally everything is fine. So they sign. Malamu did not pick people from his office. He said they hired lawyers. And in that, the agreement is that once the loot is returned, they must be paid 18% of it. And others will collect 12%. That was the beginning of the relooting of the returned loot. The second version of the part of how they were relooting the returned loot under Buhari was when they told you, I remember the stories of these wearies then, the Buhari idiot, the Sai barbarians. Every time when we wake up on Facebook, dear Zani has returned $90 billion. $90 billion. Okay. Tomorrow morning you will wake up again. Sai Baba, God bless you. These Olori Brukus were suffering then, you understand? But to make themselves feel better, they was, do you remember sometimes when they were sharing some images of abandoned cars that were kind of overgrown by bush? How many of you will remember that those era when APC, Egbekegbe, will be sharing photo of these abandoned cars, luxury cars, and they will say, God will bless Buhari. They have just discovered that the former governor of Bauchi, PDP governor, has over 500 luxury cars buried underground. And these were pictures from Malaysia, drug dealers, drug dealing bust and all that, right? They won't kill us with fake news that time. And if you dare tell them, say, Baba, I don't see this photo before. Now fake. Baba, this one no be Nigeria, na Kenya. Baba, this one, you get, they will just go mad at you. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if the picture is from Kenya. The story is true. The story is true. My neighbor, who was coming from Benue yesterday, said he saw the cars. These Olori Brukus were dying slowly. So, and we were asking questions then. You get what I mean? We were asking questions. How could you be recovering this amount of money and you are still borrowing money? Why? This whole thing, they make sense now. Somebody returned 90 billion. Another person, they discover 100 billion inside the graveyard. They found 150 billion. They had 1 trillion. This billion. Meanwhile, they were using all of that to distract these idiots while they were mortgaging their future. The one that Kolu has now come to finally bury. You go see. No be say person they wish on people. If you don't stop these criminals, if you don't stop them, they won't stop. Okay? If you don't kill this government of murderers, they will kill you. I am saying this to you, literally. Okay? The second part of the relooting that happened right before our very eyes was when we discovered that Maguluta Kruku had an agent that is pretty much like the pointer. Since the EFCC had the best tools to either trace money, cause illegal money, illegal trade, and other stuff that can cause economic ruin in Nigeria. But they weren't really doing that for the purpose of ending corruption in Nigeria. Okay? It was a business. They were giving him a award here and there. Okay? We didn't know that majority of those that they bring to us and show to us as corrupt, economic criminal or criminals, they were those who didn't pay. How did we know? Thank you. It be like this Emefiole case. One day, just one morning, we just hear the breaking news. Breaking news. Wetin happen again? Maguluta Kruku has been detained inside the Asshole Rock Gallow. Kiloshe. This is the guy they said is helping them to fight corruption. Alaye discovered money inside the Koi flat. Then find money enter graveyard. What did they do? They said all those were smoke screen. Even though, just so Nigerians will know that everything you are seeing, they are like abracadabra. You will ask yourself, if all of this fight against terror, against corruption, the way they are showing it, how come money still they miss? That is the smoke screen. But when they want to throw somebody under the bus, they do let out some of the things that we know, but they love to deny. Breaking news. Maguluta Crook arrested. Bawo. They said he was invited by the mannequin inside the asshole Rocky, Mumumadu Bokuwari. But it wasn't Mumumadu Bokuwari that invited Maguluta Kruku. It was Malamu. According to what they shared with us, Maguluta Crook is a crook, and he will face judgment. Judgment ikiloshe, and he is not alone. In fact, he has an accomplice who has been helping to keep majority of the supposed loot, recovered loot, for themselves on behalf of Maguluta Crook. Since your oga be the senior manager of the Maja catch dog, Abina dog catcher, as they will say, thief catcher, himself be thief. So if your oga be the Maja and you have the data of everyone and which amount of money is in their different bank accounts, how much properties can be traced to them, and how do you think they got all of that, even if it is not from government money, from corruption, crime, because their name is Economic and Financial Crimes Commission. You get that? They were supposed to be fighting all fronts, but they were making money all fronts, all sides. So what was that? Once they know that, once Maguluta Crook tells his friend that we are going after the owner of Access Bank tomorrow or next week. But Abu, I don't know if you can do your thing. This is his document. We trace all these properties to him. Some of them are abroad, but the ones abroad, we can't do much about them. But the ones here, whatever you can, Yahoo boys, they take their cars, take their houses, and they free them. Even when they even show them on their crime fighters, their properties are missing. How did we know this? When Maguluta Crook was detained, they said Maguluta Crook could not account for all the houses, properties, money collected from looters, criminals, but they could trace some of the properties to the associate of Maguluta Kruku, the guy who changed the names of the properties to his, then sell them off and keep the money. They were making a kill. Yes, they were. But that was not the reason why Maguluta Kruku was detained. Again, they just wanted you to see that whatever you saw then, they were just abracadabra. Okay? Nobody is fighting any corruption. But you know something? This Maja guy, that is fighting corruption, that is collecting bogus fake awards here and there, just like Abba Oshtelo Kyari, the one they gave the Super Cup of Nigeria, who happened to be the head of the underworld in Nigeria. Name it: drug dealers, armed robbers, kidnappers, money launderers, name it, human traffickers, organ traffickers. That's the guy who was the head of the whole thing in Nigeria then. And it was also the Nigeria Super Cup, the Nigeria Robo Cup. At a point, they were even thinking it was going to become the police IG, Inspector General of Police in Nigeria, Abba Oshtelo Kyari. You get what I mean? It is similar to this Maguluta Kruku, right? Maguluta Kruku was also a superstar who was fighting this or that. Alaye gbogbo, all these things you collected from these criminals, where are they? They were gone. Gone. Okay, oh yeah, you know what? If that is the case, release Maguluta Crook to the streets. Let the streets do the judgment. Abi now? No. They did not arrest or removed Maguluta Kruku because he was looting, he was relooting the returned loot too. It was simply because back then, remember the cabal, the cabal inside the ass old Rocky. They felt like this Maguluta crook was supposed to go after Tifnumbu. That was the beginning of the time when they were trying to stop Tifnumbu ahead of time. They now discovered that Tifnumbu we don't buy everybody around Buhari. Now the rest is history today. I am telling you, I'm giving you a flashback to the time that Maguluta crook was the first casualty of the supposed Buhari's cabal coming for Tifnumbu. They said that Maguluta crook was already Tifnumbu's boy. They told Maguluta crook to do something and kind of get Tifnumbu off the radar, because Tifnumbu want to be APC, Egbekegbe's presidential candidate for 2023. They now discovered, say the Orisha, Maja don't collect bribe. How did Maguluta crook become Tifnumbu's boy? Malamu couldn't take it. And that was how Maguluta crook was gone. It was never tried in any court. To us, it was lying in jail inside the asshole rock. Me and you were not sure, but that was where he was for months until they brought that other young guy who was also like removed as a thief. Anyway, all this story of relooting the loot, they have now come out officially that Mayegun was right. They won't say that to me. They won't even apologize to me. They won't even come back and say, I remember that time, Mayegun, I was one of those who said you are just somebody who don't like Nigeria. You are just somebody who don't wish Nigeria well. But I'm so sorry, Mayegun, that I did not believe you when you said they were relooting the loot. Like I told you, this doesn't mean that people where they tell you all of this, they are telling you because they too are already, they are not already doing the worst. Unago film is similar. The same playbook. They won't come back to me and say, Mayegun, sorry. I remember that time. They won't. They are still here now, the Wiris, who have become the virus, a mutated COVID-19 virus. And that is the bat starts today. The bat idiots today. They said all of those stories about return loot. Shishi no day. And it is not just that shishi no day. It is the fact that they can't even tell what they use it for. There are many things they can't tell what they use the money for. But the real criminals who did it, they are already championing propaganda to hoodwink you and make you believe that even if all these things happened, okay, fine, all these things happened. Money was stolen. Okay, yes. But what happened is that people's signatures were forged. So if they can forge Buhari's signature, forged Boss Mustafa's signature, so who else signature they cannot forge? Now on top that forged signature, now that one you go take talk until it will fizzle out. But do you know what will never fizzle out? What will never kind of pass away is the effect of what they have done. Since they won't be punished for it, they will just put up a show for you. And you know that they will never punish themselves. Okay? And even if they tell you that, oh, we have recovered so money, blah, 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 from somewhere, right? Trust me, it will also be relooted. Another story will develop again in few years, Abi. The only way you can stop all this madness, help your mental health, is to focus, okay? And believe that except these criminals are held responsible for their crimes, they will keep recycling themselves and representing themselves to you, making you feel like, yeah, they just lied against me that time. I am a different person now. I'm not a thief anymore, and all of that. And then you, hoping that maybe you are smart because you believe them again. The only way to stop this cycle to break it is what? Is to break your mental slavery from thinking that those who are chasing these thieves today will not be chased tomorrow. But the consequences of all these chasings and all these stealings and all that is that Nigeria will continue to what? To be poorer and poorer. The economy will continue to what? To get, to go down and down and down and down. And the effect on that, the effect of that on you probably will be enough for you to stand up and remember what Mayegun says. If you don't stop them, they will never stop. Okay? If they have to put up a show to make you think something is happening, they will put up a show. You will be hearing all the billions, trillions, billions, trillions. They will be flying here and there. But guess what? None of them will be punished for any of this crime. And if they pretend to punish anybody, they also pardon themselves too. At least people jailed by PDP, they were pardoned, jailed by PDP for corruption, governors. They were pardoned by Buhari, the one that came to fight corruption since they decided to join APC. All of that happened right before your eyes.